guys, I'm making this video a day late because I really wasn't well yesterday. In fact, this game I only watched the first half last night. I had to watch the second half this morning. I was absolutely all over the place yesterday, but I feel better today, so I'm going to make a video about the game today. Enough explaining, let's get into it. It was a good start for Rangers. They put Liverpool under pressure, and the first half was very, very even. Rangers definitely deserved to go into half time. Definitely not being the losing team, they had the better of the chances by a mile. And in fact, both of their best chances fell to Scott Arfield. And the first one, it was a really well taken finish, but I think from a defensive point of view for Liverpool, it sort of looked like a defence that had sort of been thrown together, and yeah, it has been. Liverpool have never, as far as I know, played with a back four of Gomez, Konate, Van Dijk and Tsimikas, so this was a first. And Arfield was very intelligent with his movements and how he managed to get in behind Konate, I think it was, who stepped up a little bit. And it was quite lethargic from Liverpool to start with. Carvalho had to be sharper on the ball. He lost the ball too easily to Tavernier, I thought. Liverpool, they got their chance a few minutes later to equalise. Roberto Firmino from a corner. It was a simple header really. He wasn't being put under too much pressure. Near post into the back of the net. And Rangers, they managed to keep their momentum up. Liverpool never really got properly into the game in the first half. It was still very even, if not Rangers probably on top. And Arfield had a chance just before half time to make it 2-1, put Rangers back in front, but it was a bit of a tame effort. And the way Rangers were attacking Liverpool often was they were getting Fashion Sakala and Ryan Kent down the wings, especially Fashion on the right wing. He had the better of Tsimikas quite a lot in the first half. And yeah, that was the way that Rangers were going to threaten Liverpool the most. But yeah, half time Liverpool just came out a different side. They were more fluid on the ball, getting the ball out wide. The goal that put Liverpool in front through Firmino, once again, he's having a superb season for Liverpool. It was a good play from Joe Gomez running down the right hand side, and he played it across to Firmino, and simple finish really. But yeah, Gomez showed that he is once again more than capable of playing in the right back role and covering for Trent. And the thing with Gomez is, and I find this strange, is in Liverpool's two peak years, if we call them that, the year they won the Champions League and the year they won the Premier League. I think last season was very good, obviously, as well, but if we call them like the height of Liverpool, Gomez played at his best in centre-back role, but whenever I see him play centre-back now, he just never seems to be as good as he was before he had those two injuries, which he was still a very young player when that happened. He's coming into his prime now, but in the past 18 months or so, I always think he's played better in the right back role rather than centre back. So I'll be interested to see what Klopp thinks about that. But yeah, it was a very good cross from him, and then Liverpool just took control of the game, and Roberto Firmino was just like just confidence personified. The assist for Nunez's goal, you don't do that unless you bang in form really, and he is, I don't know how many goals and assists he's got. I think he's got 8 goals and something like 6 assists, 7 assists maybe. So he is in ridiculous form at the moment. And it was a well taken finish by Nunez before he instantly got subbed off for Salah, and Salah came onto the pitch. I mean, it's not been recently a thing where Salah's been dropped. That's a very rare occasion, and he came onto the pitch looking like he meant business and scored the fastest Champions League hat-trick of all time, 6 minutes and 12 seconds, which I mean is incredible really. All 3 goals set up by Diogo Jota, who also came onto the pitch at a similar time. And those two, Klopp didn't actually change the system at any point throughout the game. It always stayed as like a 4-4-2 or a 4-2-4, whatever you think it is. And it seemed to suit Salah a lot more playing as one of the forward players, as opposed to playing in right midfield role where he's just stuck on the byline and he can't get forward enough, because there's not really the room, and he has got more defensive responsibility than he would usually have. So yeah, him playing in that forward role with Jota worked perfectly, and I'd be interested to see if that's something that Klopp's going to think about for Sunday. He's got a lot to think about in terms of the forward positions, Klopp, because Firmino, Jota, Salah all play brilliantly. Nunez looks dangerous whenever he plays and always causes problems, and it's the big summer signing, so you've got to factor that in as well. So I'm really interested to see what front four he goes with, because Salah and Jota were superb. However, you have also got to take into account that this is Rangers. Rangers are not Manchester City, no offence. They are a big step down. And I think Rangers, once it went 3-1 to Liverpool, their heads just dropped completely, and like all of their discipline that they were putting in trying to like make every single pass count. I think that sort of went. So I'd be a bit annoyed if I was a Rangers fan, because there didn't seem to be the pride towards the end of the game, like try and keep this as like a low score as possible. It just seemed like the players sort of gave up. And Salah took all of his goals brilliantly. The first one, just a toe poke into the bottom corner. The second one, it was just a really awkward finish. And he does these sometimes where it's not pleasing on the eye at all, but it's still a very good finish. Like, he just stops on the ball, puts his foot on the ball, and then sort of scoops it. Not scoop as in like flicks it up in the air, but just scoops it from underneath himself past McGregor. And yeah, really strange finish. But the one that got the hat trick, yeah, that was much better to watch for the neutral. He just cuts inside and whips it into the bottom left corner. All three very well taken goals, regardless of whether they're pleasing on the eye or not. But yeah, and then Harvey Elliott got the seventh, the final goal of the game. Came from good work from Thiago and Salah down the left-hand side. Jota, don't know what he was doing with the chance he had. He just needed to pass it into the back of the net. He decides to take a touch for some reason. It falls to Harvey Elliott from the goalkeeper, and Elliott scores, initially given offside, but VAR correctly overturned it. And yeah, finished 7-1. And yeah, Rangers are just a big step down in opposition in terms of pretty much, and I'm not trying to have a pop at Scottish football as a whole here, but it's just not the same level as English football. I honestly believe that Rangers, if they were in the Premier League, would be very much in a relegation battle. Probably one of the favourites for relegation, because I'm struggling to think of any teams in the Premier League right now, who are worse than Rangers. There probably isn't any, if we're being completely honest. So yeah, in fact, you only have to look at Rangers' lineup to see some of the old Premier League players who were in their starting 11. So you've got Stephen Davis. I mean, Stephen Davis was a very good player for Southampton back in the day, but I mean, how old is he now? He's got to be late 30s, so he's obviously not going to be the player he was. Scott Arfield, a player who never really nailed down a starting position at Burnley. John Lundstrom, who was a very good player for a season at Sheffield United, but again, Sheffield United were a team who only lasted 2 seasons in the Premier League. And Alan McGregor, like a very good goalkeeper, and not bad goalkeeper now even, but again, another player who was involved in relegation battles in the Premier League. And Ben Davis, who like at centre back, who I don't even think he did play in the Premier League, but he was playing for the Championship, playing in the Championship for Preston not so long ago. So yeah, if you just look at their team, it's not a Premier League team really, to be honest. But Liverpool, it's what they needed, a boost in confidence, especially ahead of Sunday's game, because it is going to be a massive game for Liverpool in terms of how their season moves on, because away at Arsenal, it's a tricky fixture, but yeah, they need to win on Sunday at home to Man City to, just I don't know what they need to win it for, but they need to get up the table, don't they? Because mid-table for Liverpool right now, it isn't good enough when you see when you look at their squad. But yeah, anyway, thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.